how do you handle your independence? Okay. Why aren't you like the other women out there who says, I got my degree and I got my books and I don't need no man telling me nothing? How do you deal with that?
Very effectively. I knew deep down inside I had too much love to keep to myself. And I'm not saying Mr. Right, but Mr. Close to Right wanted to reunite or unite with Miss Pretty Near. That comes with self-confidence. When I look at women across the country, locally and globally, I can see the hurt in their faces. I can see the disappointment. Oftentimes I remark to Eric, they're carrying a bag of pain. And until we are able to say, I'm ready to resolve, I'm ready to surrender, I can't handle it anymore. It comes with a consciousness of light, a consciousness of truth, a consciousness of saying, I'm pulling off the superwoman cape. I need some help. I oftentimes say to one of my very great friend girls, people would offer, hey, let me help you. No, I don't, before they could finish, can I help you? Gladly. Be willing to realize that we're great. We are God-given creatures, but we can't handle it all. People are losing their houses, people are losing their cars, and many of them are losing their minds trying to wear the mask. When we be real, we can be healed.
What do you say to a young girl who see her mama on crack, or who see her mama suffering abuse and see her mama taking it? What do you say to that young child?
I usually do it in the form of a question. Is that the kind of life you want to live? Is that what you want for you and your child? And their responses usually are, well, what difference is it going to make? My mama had me at 15, my grandmother had her at 16, and there she is pregnant at 14. The unfortunate reality is they grow up becoming what they see unless there are enough of us who care enough to bring them out of that cycle, to expose them to a different world, to expose them to culturally enriching events and say, you can be better than what your mother was. You can do better than what your grandmama was, but you have to want it. I try to encourage them to move beyond, that's just my baby daddy. Because if he's got one for you, 9 cases out of 10, he has 2 or 3 more from some of your friends. They're just slinging that penis area. And when we realize that love goes beyond just an insert, and realize that love comes with emotions and love comes with responsibilities, only will our young girls believe that they can be better than what their generations past were. They can be better than what they see their friends becoming, but they have to be mindful of the company that they keep. Because even when they leave schools and basketball and football games, your environment at home influences a lot of what you are. If that is all they see, they believe that that is all that they can become.
What do you say to the child who transfers her mother's problems to her self and feel her own little young self to be to blame for whatever it is that's happening in that house that is totally disrupted?
That's usually when I introduce them to some type of family therapy or individual therapy, because unfortunately everybody that's sick is not hospitalized. And coming from a degree of social work, very few things surprise me when I see the mindset. Everything starts in the mind. If we don't internalize it, then it can't control us. But when they let it control their minds, that's their belief system. They believe that this is where they need to be. This is what my mama said. I don't care how abusive their mothers have been to them. If mama said it, it's the gospel. If mama does it, it's the right thing to do, until they're shown differently. Unfortunately, a lot of us haven't grown up to our age levels. We do things sometimes that are age inappropriate. So if we can just take one sister by the hand and tell her, like I do many times at schools, I see what you're doing, I saw you, it will cause them to freeze in their tracks. But as long as we keep turning our heads as if it's not happening, then it will begin to become a greater cycle. In fact, it's an epidemic, if you want to know the truth of the matter.
First thing that young brothers have to do, and it's not an easy task, is you have to spend time within. I suggest to myself and everyone else that you take care of what is given you. You're given a physical body. You need to do some form of exercise. You need to take care of it. You need to watch how you eat. You need to watch, even as this is a subject that people don't want to discuss, but how your bowels move. That's a part of you.
Absolutely.
I mean, to ignore that is to ignore you. Then you have to deal with your mental. You have to challenge your mental self. One of the other things about our kids growing up today that I'd like to tell young men is, if you can, stay off of any kind of drugs. And I mean prescribed drugs probably as much or more than others. I heard once where they were interviewing this young lady on TV. She was 12. And she says, they give me Ritalin or Prozac, one or the other. Said before they gave it to me, I was in my class daydreaming, and now I don't daydream. To me, that's a travesty. How do you take a child's dream?
Absolutely.
We perish without dreams, without imaginations, without where we want to be from where we are. Most of the things we have, we've at one time wanted it and saw ourselves with it and accepted it. If you don't have that, you're just living day to day like a vegetable, you know? So I encourage my brothers to exercise that mind. Read something every day. You also need to spend time with you. Spirit works in such a way that it comes to you when you're quiet. When you're out there gang banging and drinking and dancing and, excuse my language, whoring around, those divine things don't come to you. But sometimes when you're just still and quiet. So we need to try to take at least 10 minutes a day just to be quiet.